There are very few horror icons that can walk into a room and immediately change the temperature. Not slashers with elaborate backstories, not monsters with pages of lore, just a face, white, frozen, mouth stretched into a silent scream. The Ghostface mask. In 2010, I started a photography project called The Screams, and without realizing it, I was tapping into something much bigger than a Halloween costume. The idea was simple. I photographed my friends wearing variations of the Ghostface mask, licensed by Fun World, straight out of the Scream movies, but dressed completely normal from the neck down. Jeans, hoodies, jackets, no blood, no knives, no context, just Ghostface existing. A Ghostface riding a bike, Ghostfaces at a bar, a Ghostface shopping at the mall, an entire team of Ghostfaces playing beach volleyball. The concept was my own quiet thesis statement, that we all carry something dark with us, even during the most mundane, boring, everyday moments in our lives. That horror doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it just blends in. Eventually, I ended the project, and honestly, it felt like the right time. Because in the years since, the Ghostface mask has slowly become a parody of itself. Santa Claus Ghostface, burlap sack Ghostface, every color of bedazzled Ghostface you can imagine. Fun World even licensed variations of the Scary Movie parody mask, the parody of a parody of a parody. At this point, Ghostface is arguably the easiest, most common, most uncreative Halloween costume imaginable. And yet, even during COVID, I owned a Ghostface mask. Not that mask, a cloth protective mask with the Ghostface mouth printed on it. Because of course I did. And that's the contradiction at the heart of Ghostface. No matter how diluted, commercialized, or overexposed it becomes, we still love it. So why does this mask still work? Why does something so simple remain so powerful? To understand that, you have to go back, not to Scream, but further. The Ghostface mask isn't original. It's based on Edvard Munch's The Scream, a painting that isn't about fear itself, but the feeling of being overwhelmed by existence. The mask doesn't show rage. It doesn't show intent. It doesn't even show violence. It shows reaction. A face locked in a moment where something terrible has already happened, or is about to. That ambiguity is everything. Most horror villains wear masks to hide who they are. Ghostface wears a mask that hides what they are. There's no expression to decode, no emotion to track, just a void where a human response should be. And that's what makes it unsettling. In the Scream films, Ghostface is never a single person. He's a role, a costume passed from hand to hand, identity to identity. Anyone can be Ghostface. Your best friend, your partner, the comic relief, the quiet one in the background. The mask doesn't transform the killer. It erases them. And that's why it works better than almost any slasher design before or since. Michael Myers is evil incarnate. Jason is trauma made flesh. Freddy is vengeance from beyond the grave. Ghostface? Ghostface is choice. A decision someone makes, which is also why the mask works so well outside the movies. In my photography project, the mask didn't need a knife to be disturbing, because the horror wasn't in what Ghostface was doing. It was in the fact that they were doing normal things. Swimming in a pool, kickboxing, showing off a frickin' Lamborghini. The implication was simple and uncomfortable. What if the monster doesn't look like a monster? What if it looks like everyone else? Over time, commercialization flattened that idea. When a mask becomes a punchline, it loses its teeth. Ghostface became a default costume, a last-minute Amazon purchase, a symbol less of fear and more of participation. But something interesting happened. Despite all that, despite parody, saturation, and endless variations, the core image never stopped working. Put on the original Ghostface mask, stand still, say nothing, and people still react. That's because Ghostface has quietly crossed the line from character to symbol. Like Batman. Batman isn't one man, he's an idea that anyone can inhabit. Ghostface works the same way, just inverted. Where Batman represents justice through anonymity, Ghostface represents violence through anonymity. And with Scream 7 on the horizon, that idea matters more than ever. The franchise survives not because of who Ghostface is, but because of the question of who could be. Every new film resets the equation. Anyone can wear the mask. Anyone can pick up the phone. Anyone can decide to become Ghostface. And that's the genius of it. The mask doesn't age. It doesn't evolve. It doesn't need to. It reflects us, our fears, our media obsession, our desire to both watch and participate in violence from a safe distance. Even when it's overused, even when it's ridiculous, even when it's printed on a cloth COVID mask, we recognize it instantly. Because Ghostface isn't scary because it's iconic because it's scary. Not as a monster, but as a mirror. A reminder that horror doesn't always come from the shadows. Sometimes it puts on jeans, grabs a drink, rides a bike, and blends in perfectly. And that's why no matter how many versions exist, the original Ghostface mask still screams, even when it says absolutely nothing.